Hi, this is Patrick Henry, the CEO of QuestFusion with the Real Deal What Matters Live. Today I'm here with Katy Temple. Katy is the founder of Katy Temple Media Coaching, where she works with executives and professional athletes on helping them to improve their on-camera presence. So for full disclosure, Katy and I have been working together on some projects. She's been coaching me and I've been helping her a little bit on her business as well. But when people finish with Katy, they come across more strong, more confident, and more authentic, which is sometimes difficult on camera. It's one of those things that's a different medium versus having a kind of dinner conversation with somebody. So just to give you a little bit about Katy's background, she's an Emmy Award winning broadcaster, sports broadcaster. Some fun facts: she worked for the NFL Network amongst many other platforms, many other broadcasters and networks, and traveled all over the country for the NFL Network. And she also covered the Olympics, which is exciting. A couple times?
A couple times. In 2010, I was actually reporting. In 92, I was kind of a gopher.
Well, that's awesome. Well, welcome, Katy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So tell me a little bit about your thought process and motivation for making the transition from the traditional broadcasting world to doing what you do now.
I love that question because the thought process has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I worked for a media coach when I was young, and she was the one that taught me to be authentic. So I've always thought, when I get out of this business, I think that's what I want to do. And the other thought is that sometimes there are so many challenges that people I know understand trying to get comfortable on camera. And I just think if I would have had somebody there just to tinker with this and help me with that and give me shortcuts, I just feel like my career would have skyrocketed even more quickly.
Yeah.
And so it's simply that I love the business. I love the adrenaline. I love talking about things that people are passionate about on camera, and I want to help. I want to give back.
Cool. So do you find that most of your clients are kind of on the traditional broadcasting platforms or more online, or a combination of both?
There's a combination. There's 3 tiers where I'm working with people to do corporate videos.
Okay.
And what we can do is, and as you know well, people are scared to get that started, but we also know that it's invaluable to start marketing on video. Yeah. So I'm teaming with production companies to do that from the beginning to the end. I'm also working with business executives. A lot of them have had a lot of success and a lot of confidence. But when that camera turns on, it just shifts a little bit. And so I like to work with them just to take them from this level to this level.
Yeah.
And then the third angle is the sports, because it's what I know and what I've done for so long. And I have had athletes who are still playing professionally work with their image and their branding on camera, but a lot of mine are making the transition into broadcasting.
I see.
So they're not lacking in confidence because they're used to having the mic in their face.
Sure.
But now they're putting the mic
tables turned.
The tables turned.
Yeah.
And they're competitive and they want to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And anybody that I know that's been a professional athlete's a very driven, competitive, focused person, because it takes so much to get to that level. So how would you describe your ideal client?
That's a great question. I would say just the three lanes that I've just discussed, but somebody that sees the value in what I'm offering. And I'm guessing that you can understand that.
Yeah.
Somebody that knows whether they have a long way to go or a little way to go. They know that I can bring value. Life is about communication.
Yeah.
How we sit, how we look, how we present, how we feel. Are we present? Are we listening? No matter what platform, that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And people
being coachable,
and hungry, and being willing to say, Katy, I don't like that. I feel more comfortable doing this, and being interested in collaborating. Okay. Because most importantly, you want the client to understand what you're saying and be the best version of themselves. Not me, but them, because we want to keep it authentic, most importantly.
Sure. Mm-hmm. But there's qualities that you have. I mean, I've seen you present at live events, and one of the things that talking to other people at the events that they always give feedback about is you have this ability to have people kind of leaning in, and the Dean Witter commercial, they want to hear what's coming next. So I really like that quality that you have. Now, can you bring that quality out in somebody else, and can you bring it out on camera? Or give me your kind of experiences based on working with a variety of different clients around that warmth aspect of things?
Thank you for that. I think it depends on the client and what their goals are and who they are.
Okay.
I think that I have been speaking about sports my entire life, and I love people. Those are my two passions.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I'm really, really engaged. And just like you were engaged in business and growing people's business, there's a passion there that cannot be fake. Right. So I think that you teach people to talk about their passion. If they're not talking about their passion, we're probably in a little bit of trouble.
Sure.
And I think
so that authenticity is really kind of the foundation, kind of a core part of it, and tapping into what that person has and what's their basic passion and drive and mission type of thing that they're doing.
Right, and saying it in a way that makes sense to them, not what they think looks good from a book. Saying it in a relatable way that makes them feel it from head to toe. Mm-hmm. This is what I want to tell you about, not because I'm an expert as much as that I want to be the vessel of this really terrific information. And if I can help you be bigger, faster, stronger, I want to help you do that.
Cool. Yeah, so for the audience of entrepreneurs, as you know, on this program, kind of the precursor to this, when I wasn't doing live broadcasts, one of the formats we do is interviews with successful entrepreneurs or kind of breakout entrepreneurs, mm-hmm. People having some momentum and a big amount of success, maybe not ultimate success, but what are they doing that's helping them to achieve that? And in those interviews, a lot of times I'm dealing with technical founders or first-time entrepreneurs, and the language that they use is more suitable for customers in their target market, but not necessarily for a broader audience mm-hmm. of laymen, mm-hmm. and especially an audience of potential investors, prospective investors, whether it be angel investors or venture capitalists. And I'm not saying that certain venture capitalists and certain angel investors aren't technical. Many of them are technical to a level, but they also are most interested in how they make money, mm-hmm. how you make money, therefore how they make money. So it's a different audience. Can you talk a little bit about that from your experience, like working with people and how to convey those messages? Do you work on the content part or mainly on the style part, or a combination of both?
It's a combination of both, and what they really need help with. I start with fundamentals and then I customize. And your point is well taken, especially when I'm dealing with people who are really on the media on a regular basis. One of the biggest questions is, are you talking to the morning show people where you need to have more general verbiage? Are you talking to a technology publication where you do not have to edit yourself at all because they understand everything on a high level?
Yeah.
Those are the things, or somebody in between. Or are you talking to entrepreneurs who may or may not understand what you're talking about? And if you go high, do you need to follow it up with an example?
Right.
So the first thing to do, because it's such a great point, because you want to be relatable.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing to do is think about, okay, who is my audience? Are these people trying to get ready to go to work and kind of listening because they're listening to in the morning?
Yeah.
Are they experts? Do they know more than I do? What do they need to get out of that? So that is something that we talk about, and that's in preparation. First and foremost, who's your audience? And then you can craft that message.
So are there any like kind of key tips, tricks? Like for instance, I did a lot of media training as a tech company CEO, both in terms of the content side of it as well as the style side of it, because I would be on like CNBC and Bloomberg Television, and then on smaller programs around the world, and then on podcasts. And it seems like that's such a great forum to get your message out as an entrepreneur. I did more as kind of an established public company CEO, but I think when you're trying to get your message out, being on those types of programs, do you have like, keep your answers to this length, or, don't use this type of language, or what are some of the kind of key hacks or tips that you have for somebody that's listening in and saying, what are some key takeaways I can just take away from this without engaging at the next level?
If you are you talking about, if for you're published, so when you were on MS and all those kind of things,
yes.
You're talking about, so empowering you would be, an example would be, okay, you know that these publications that understand what you're talking about are going to have you on the air, correct?
Yes.
So what I would say is, first of all, take the power back. In other words, someone calls and says, hey, Patrick, it's MS. Can we have you on tomorrow morning at 4:00 to talk about taking Entropic public?
Yeah.
So here's what you want to think about. Okay, why do you want to talk to me?
Mm-hmm.
What is the goal of the interview?
Yeah.
Will it be live or will it be taped?
Yeah.
That allows a mulligan. Not that we ever want to have mulligans, but that allows a different mindset.
Yeah.
How long will you give me? Because when you know how long you're going to be there, then you can think, okay, if they're going to give me 1:30 versus 3 minutes, these are the points that I want to get across, I have to get across.
Yeah.
And so it's a screening interview. And the other thing that you can do is if they say, well, we want to talk about this and this and this, and you decide, right now, we can't talk about that topic because I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Right.
So then you're prepared and you've told them, please don't ask me this,
right.
or I can't be on, for example.
Right.
So
right.
I tell my clients when they're being interviewed, take the power back. And it doesn't have to be like this.
Yeah.
It's more empowering you to get the most value for the listener and the audience.
Right. Yeah. And it's definitely you, as a public company CEO especially, but even as a private company CEO, there's a number of things you can't talk about. And the rules are much stricter for a public company CEO, but I remember one time I was on MSNBC and they were asking me, are you trying to sell the company and all these different things? And the way you answer that is very important because otherwise you're in a world of hurt and a world of trouble. So that's great. I like that pre-screening interview thing that you're talking about. So how are we doing on time, Amanda?
We're good.
Okay. So talk to us about kind of the value proposition. What's your elevator pitch? What do you go out and tell people in 60 seconds? Because that's kind of a big thing for me is being able to concisely say, okay, this is what I do and this is the value you're going to get and this is why I'm different than everybody else.
Now I feel like I'm under pressure. Holy cow.
But you're good at it because you got me as a client.
Right.
I'm a very talkative student.
That's true. I've got Patrick Henry in my ear. It's nice to meet you. I work with executives, business executives, and professional athletes nailing their on-camera message and delivery to find their voice and make it camera ready.
Awesome. That's perfect.
Okay.
That's
promise?
Perfect. It's awesome. Because I think that there's this trend where video is becoming much, much more prevalent, especially with the internet. All the statistics show this. And engagement levels to, 7 seconds, less than the attention span of a goldfish type of, metrics that are out there in terms of people watching stuff online. But the engagement level is significantly higher if you have video. Now, that's not all video. You have to have a hook. You have to pull people in and keep them interested. But that medium in and of itself has a much higher engagement level than the other types of mediums. So are there things that you do to kind of keep that engagement level high? In regards with your clients? So basically, this is how you hook people in. This is how you get them to the next level.
It depends on if they need help with their messaging or not, but the way that you have to think about it when I'm talking to my clients is you have to bring it immediately.
Yeah.
In other words, even when I was in the business doing resume reels, for example, everybody told me you put your best stuff. People will put in I could say VCR because it was old school, but they put in your reel and they can know between 3 and 7 seconds if they even want to watch the rest of it.
Right.
So you have to come hard and fast like a fastball where you bring your best, strongest stuff immediately to keep people interested.
Yeah. And I think that's something too with entrepreneurs when I'm coaching them about pitching to investors, you need to get, and this is short attention span theater. It's not quite as bad as the internet with 7 seconds, but if you don't have an investor engaged in the first 3 to 5 minutes of the meeting, they're gone. They're on their smartphones, used to be on their Blackberries, they're doing something else. They'll give you some attention, they'll ask some difficult questions, but if you don't have the hook to get them engaged, and the hook is really about describing the customer problem in such a way that the audience has a visceral reaction around that. They feel the pain of the customer. And then you come in with your solution. And if you can do that in the form of a story, whether it's an actual case study, whether it's an example, whether it's an analogy or something that then you relate it back to what you're doing, those are the things that seem to hook people really, really well. Now, in broadcast television, sometimes if you have an interview with an athlete, you don't have time to set that stuff up, but you have kind of your key mission, the key things you're trying to get to.
Right. Can I ask you one question about that process? Because I know that you know this. How much does the nonverbal and the presence have to do with the success of that 3 to 5 minutes?
I think a lot. I mean, if you just look at the research, what, like 70% of what people are listening to is the nonverbal communication.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're on the radio, different thing,
Mm-hmm.
but if somebody's in front of you or they're on video, the confidence that they project, the enthusiasm, the passion, that comes through not only in the intonation in your voice, but are you excited? Are you visibly excited about it? Are you reacting? And do your words and the things that you're trying to convey match with what you're saying? When I was doing media coaching prior to taking Entropic public, we were working with a very famous media coach up in the Bay Area that works with a number of the companies that are going IPO. And he would show us videos of like Ronald Reagan or Bob Dole and a variety of different people that did a lot of public speaking. You know, Bob Dole saying, "My heart is buoyant," but being like completely flatline. You know, the words he was using and what he was talking about didn't match his body language at all. And he didn't get the receptivity because of that. So I think it's huge.
Good, I agree.
Okay.
I love it. You just nailed it.
So how do people get in touch with you? And you know, do you do just coaching in San Diego, or you travel, or you do things virtually, or you know, how describe your business model, and then also how people can get a hold of you.
I do it all. I love to travel. I like the I like the in-person. I do workshops. I do one-on-one. I also do virtual. Katy at katytemplecoaching.com. The business model really is, first I have a questionnaire, and I also, if people have video, I like to look and just get a taste of their experience and their comfort level first. I like to look at the questionnaire because they really have to dive in about what their goals are. Yeah. And then we decide which program's best for them. And usually, again, it's fundamentals out of the gate. Some people are more familiar with those than others, but it just depends. It can take 2 hours, it can take 45 minutes. Yeah. And then once we do that, then it's a customized program to hit the goals of the client. And
how many times do you typically meet with a client on like a package or something like that?
That's a great question, because it's one of those things where it's habit forming, as you know, and it takes patience and practice to kind of tweak the narrative in your head. Yeah. So I don't like to work with clients. I won't work with clients any less than 5 sessions. Okay. And a half-day workshop, and then full-day workshops, and then 2-day workshops. But I have packs. I have clients right now on 6-month retainer that I like to see once a week. Okay. And then you just build the rhythm. Yeah. You build the rhythm.
Awesome. Well, this is Patrick Henry, the CEO of QuestFusion with the Real Deal What Matters Live. We're here today with Katy Temple from Katy Temple Media Coaching. And I've really enjoyed this, Katy. Thanks for coming in today. And hopefully the audience has enjoyed this as well. I think that she has provided huge benefit to me and to other people, not only in terms of the on-camera, but also the live audience presence stuff. And she's fantastic and just a wonderful person to work with. So get a hold of her if you need any help with your online video presence.
Back at you. Thank you. Thank you.